Dorkening.
And this is the Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because the Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma Team knows of. It's the best, the Dorkening.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
You're watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And you know what?
Stop it.
We need to add Jar Jar to that intro. It's on my list, Jar Jar. I need to redo it.
It's okay. I'm not that egotistical, you sons of bitches, keeping me out of this.
Mr. Drew.
He's canceled. And by the way, it's not Thursday, everybody. No matter how much you want it to be, to the max.
Yeah. Velvet.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, ladies. Good evening, audience. Hello. It's me, Velvet J, your man, Rich Davis, here on another Tuesday night on Splash Pages, and we're taking it to the max tonight. Max versus Max.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of stuff in the queue tonight. We're going to be talking about Max, the Max. So talking about show versus the comic. We're also going to be talking about new comics, some comic news, a lot of stuff going on. And also a character deep dive into Etrigan by our most awesome Velvet Joker. And
what do we do first, kids?
Well, let's Jeremy Renner, what the fuck happened there?
Oh, I'm glad I'm not Jeremy
Yeah,
Renner.
I think I heard a plow ran over his leg, and he's like severely bleeding out, and it's touch and go.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, he was from what I understand, he was doing his own snow removal.
See, you rich people, this is what happens when you do your own work.
Well, we wish his family the best. But yeah, last I heard, he was in intensive care.
Yeah.
And he lost a lot of blood.
Poor guy.
Oof.
Yeah.
What a great way to start the show, Leo. Thank you.
Yeah.
We can only.
I heard something that could bring the show back up. I heard that Rian Johnson is considering a Muppets version of a glass onion.
Yes. I haven't even watched Knives Out, and I'm all ready for this.
Wait. You haven't even watched Knives Out?
It's on my list.
Same here, Drew. Don't feel bad.
Knives Out, then it's glass onion.
Well,
Hey,
and now,
and possibly now a Muppet version of the next installment.
I would watch that.
Hold on. Not only that, you also have Poker Face starting out soon, which is a series by Rian Johnson.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Is it also a mystery whodunit?
I believe it's a mystery.
Nice.
I'm I gotta say, I'm just glad that he's doing so well, because I know he gets a lot of flack for his entry in the new Star Wars trilogy, whatnot. And I'm just glad that I feel like Knives Out helped him kind of bounce back from that. And, he's just found his nice niche here. So I'm just, kudos to him, man,
So, Poker Face comes out in March. It was announced in March. It's going to be a Case of the Week mystery comedy drama.
Nice.
Each episode follows how the How to Catch 'Em format popularized by Columbo.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So just briefly, do you guys, you've watched Knives Out and perhaps The Glass Onion, do you guys recommend it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. With knowing that Glass Onion was coming out on Netflix, we rewatched the original Knives Out. Which Chris Evans is brilliant in, by the way.
I've heard.
And it's great seeing him as a different kind of character than Captain America. And that was super enjoyable. It's comedic, and yet it's also serious at the same time. And Glass Onion just took it to another level. And Edward Norton, I've always found to be very pretentious, and he plays a super uber pretentious guy in this, like to the oomph. So definitely recommend it, Drew. You should definitely enjoy it.
Fantastic. And our one of our followers, Carrie, definitely recommends it. So thank you. That's 3. That's 3 votes for watch it this weekend. So I will.
Yeah, watch them both back to back. It's it's quite a ride.
Leo, I've told you more than once. You are not supposed to tell me what to do. It's in the contract. I'm my own man. God. Moving on. Next. What else is new?
Okay, Donny Cates and Ryan Otley's run of Hulk will end in number 14.
Okay. Is that at the end of a story? Is it due to sales?
I believe that's a finale of I don't think it's the finale of the Hulk run, but their storyline.
Okay. Donny Cates usually MO. He comes in, boosts sales for a title really quick. Like he did it with Venom. He did it with
Thor.
Yeah. And then he dips out after like about 14 to 20 issues.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Leo. I believe some of the news recently is that they're bringing back one of the fan favorites from, I believe it's his Guardians run, the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Right? We're seeing him return. And I got to say, I mean, I'm on the fence about Donny Cates. Some of his stuff I like, some of it I really wasn't too interested.
I like his indie stuff.
Yeah. But I remember, wow. That story was nuts.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know if you guys have read that, but that's some good comic writing right there.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. But okay, that's Donnie's great. Ryan Otley, who anyone who knows Invincible. We'll praise his artwork. Also, his work that he did on Amazing Spider-Man, also great. So let's keep giving him work, people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we have a comic dork entering the U.S. Congress.
Really?
So newly elected California Congressman Robert Garcia, when he swears his oath, along with the Constitution, he'll also be swearing on top of 3 items that have personal meaning to him, including a copy of 1939 Superman #1.
He owns that?
I don't know
Or
if he
is it
owns
from
it.
like the Library of Congress or something?
And that it does not say. It just says that he's going to be swearing on that along with the Constitution.
Okay,
Interesting.
briefly, quick, off the top of your head, if you had to swear on one comic for any sort of reason and whatnot, what would it be?
It would have
Batman
to be
181?
Hulk 181.
Leo,
I would go with Superman.
which the first one?
Yeah. I mean, Superman, talking about hope and justice. And yeah, if you're going to be swearing in on something.
That's
Okay,
that's
I
good
will
reasoning.
counter that with I will swear in on an original Detective Comics issue. I want to say, is it 27? Was that the
Yes.
first?
27, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to counter you, Leo, because you're all about hope, and me, I'm swearing on a Batman comic, so I can't lie because he was killing people in this one. So that means, bang bang.
Didn't he have guns back then?
He had guns. He was killing people. He killed the Mad Monk. He was like, "You're a vampire, werewolf guy." Bam, dead. Get out of Gotham. And they were like, "No, this is too much."
Kill them all. Let God sort them out, huh?
Yeah.
Every day. So moving on. What else is there, Leo?
Well, that's all the items I had a chance to put together for the news.
All right, well, everybody, the news is over. Moving on. Because we all know I didn't have
Not
any.
to rehash an old topic, but I did do a little bit of digging, and I don't know if you guys saw because of the whole The Rock and Black Adam debacle, which may or may not have kept Henry Cavill out of the DC universe. Apparently, Henry Cavill fired his manager, and apparently his manager's name is Danny Garcia, who is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ex-wife.
Oh.
So inadvertently, The Rock is still fucking over his ex-wife. Just my little 2 cents.
Okay, well, we're not going to ask her what she smells is cooking, so that's just too much.
Rock says. Know your damn role.
Hopefully you find work, Miss Garcia. And we know Henry Cavill is most likely moving on to accomplish another in his nerd bingo card, which would be the Warhammer adaptation.
He is stoked about it too.
Which reminds me, I do have another. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I've never seen a guy so happy.
About the Warhammer thing.
Yeah, yeah, he is stoked.
Nice.
Well,
speaking of video game franchises, Leo, I saw Dave Bautista is trying to get Gears of War. Apparently, on both his Instagram and his TikTok, he dressed up like one of the characters of Gears of War, and he's like, "Hey, it's a no-brainer."
Okay, I'm down with that.
I kind of like these celebs like jumping up on social media, kind of cosplaying, being like, "Hey, look at me. This is a great way to audition, actually. Take our kind of fan heads and be like, wrap it around it and be like, oh my God, well, that's a great idea."
I feel like that famous artist, Boss Logic, he likes doing things like that. He'll use his art and he'll take celebrities and do that. And usually it's really great casting. So why not? I mean, they've got the ability and the notice to sometimes help pull projects up into consciousness. So why not? You got that power. Use it. Make the nerds happy. We're seeing your movies.
Oh, I have one piece of nerd news because I've been busy doing these in memoriam little video thingies.
Yeah,
Did
thank
you
you.
guys realize 91 people in the dork community passed away in 2022?
You know what? Never tell me
That's
the
crazy.
odds for me.
90. I was just like, holy crap. And that was just the 91 I found.
Mhm.
Wow. I didn't know a lot of those names, honestly, Jerry.
Cartoonists. A lot of them were cartoonists and stuff. A lot of them are like old school French cartoonists and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and Jeremy, so if any of the followers wanted to check that out, where can they find those memoriam
So
videos?
far, I've only put them onto my Facebook page.
You should
I haven't figured. I'm not very techie, so I'm trying to work my way to get them on over and split them up and then throw them onto TikTok. But I don't know if they work as well that way. But
All right, well, everyone friend Jar Jar Jeremy on Facebook if you want to see his in memoriam comic videos.
Yes, no way, nothing
you
better
don't even
than for
have to friend me. I leave my
2023
stuff all public.
to be depressed by what we could be, by what was.
Yeah,
Thanks,
right?
everybody. For the love of God, Leo, change the subject, please.
Okay, let's talk about new comics.
Right.
Our videos this that I released today are actually doing pretty well, both on YouTube.
They are
and
gorgeous, by
TikTok.
the way, Leo. Those were beautifully done.
I threw them together last night.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah. Well,
no problem at all.
Well, that was easy to do. I want to add a little more panache to them, but I figure, we'll go into more detail on the weekly show. So some of the key items, Batman 131 comes out today.
You've already read it.
I've already read it. Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous.
So you're all caught up.
What is going on in Batman these days? Like, what's the general consensus?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, Leo? But you just read it. Don't ruin it for the
okay, I'm not gonna ruin it, but I'm gonna assume everybody is read up to 130.
Yes.
No. Okay.
No. But like, does he have money? Is there a Robin? What's going on?
Okay, so there's multiple Robins. Tim is back. Nightwing, Damian.
We're working on a new name for Tim too.
Really?
Yeah. Instead of just Robin, they're working on like a permanent name for him.
Rockin' Robin.
Because Damian has the moniker of Robin now.
Okay, so if you're not caught up, Chip Zdarsky is writing Batman now, doing a phenomenal job. But he introduced a character called Failsafe.
Okay.
So if sorry, I need to block somebody on.
Yeah. Ooh, hot photos of
I
my
saw some
sister.
headlines with that name, Failsafe. I guess that must be a popular character now.
Yeah, those sons of bitches sold out, and my LCS didn't put one in my poll.
Oh my God. Okay, so what happened was, if you don't know, Alfred has passed.
Yes.
And Superman asked Batman at one point, if you have, plans to take out the entire Justice League, who's going to take out you if you go bad? And as you know, that was brought up years ago. And apparently Bruce thought up of something in his younger years. He made a robotic version of Batman that was essentially unstoppable. And it was set to release if Batman ever killed anybody. So recently in the storyline, Penguin made it look like Batman killed him, but he didn't. And what happened was Failsafe was set loose. Since it was a false alarm, Alfred was responsible for resetting Failsafe, but since Alfred is dead, Failsafe was released and presumed to go through and totally annihilate Batman, kicking his ass severely, taking down Superman. It was just incredible. It was all hands on deck trying to beat Failsafe. And at the end of issue 130, Failsafe succeeds in taking out Batman.
Wow.
Yeah. You find out what happens to him in 130.
Thank you. You did good, Leo. Don't say any more.
You did fantastic, Leo.
Well, thank you. So
Bravo.
the official statement for 131: Gotham City has never been darker or deadlier, and after failsafe, there is no Batman to save it. Can the fractured ghost that roams the streets survive? Whatever happened to the man known as Bruce Wayne? You know, I've had some issues with like the Tom King run and
James,
yeah.
you're not a big fan of the James Tynion run.
Yeah. So this year it seems like we're headed into a new era of Batman. Absolutely love it. I highly recommend anybody pick up 131.
I really enjoyed how Tom started out, but how he finished was not grand.
It is, listen, every Batman writer, artist, whatever you want to do, they have their pros and cons. Even my beloved Snyder Capullo, not every issue was amazing. Some were
That's
great,
true.
some were not. And it is what it is. Eventually, they're human, and every writer has his pros and cons.
The art was always beautiful on that run, though.
Yes, but Leo, what else is there?
Yeah, continuing on, we'll try to go through these quickly now. Dark Knights of Steel #9 is out this week. The best-selling series continues. The opening battle for the Three Kingdoms takes a deadly and dramatic turn as the heroes return, enemies are revealed, and dark secrets spill out like blood on the battlefield. So Dark Knights of Steel is a medieval JLA storyline. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Gotham Year 1 #4. The new crime noir classic rolls on. Slam Bradley's search for the Wayne heiress takes a tragic, deadly turn, and a simmering pot that is Gotham City is about to boil over. As the world falls apart around him, Slam must decide between justice and a revenge, a choice that will echo down the generations and redefine both Gotham and Batman. And these DC Year 1s have been getting some really good reviews. I need to get caught up on them.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Harley Quinn, the animated series continues. Legion of the Bats #4. As Ivy becomes increasingly engrossed in her new job and increasingly tempted by an old flame who has re-entered her life, Harley finds herself assisting Batgirl on an important mission that goes horribly awry. Meanwhile, Clayface and King Shark have been pursuing Harley, confused about their old friend's new allegiances.
I remember we had talked about this when they were first speculated that this was coming out, because this is supposed to continue where the last season of Harley Quinn ended, where Harley Quinn was sort of joining the young Bat Squad to sort of help them out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could be interesting. If the writing's half as good as the animated series.
Totally. Monkey Prince Volume 1, Enter the Monkey comes out. Let's see. Also Poison Ivy #8. Sword of Azrael #6.
Oh, wow.
And The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing #4. Why did the Joker cross town? To get to the bottom of the mystery that has been haunting him. Who is the man pretending to be the Joker, and what does he want? But every lead follows is a dead end, and every move he makes brings the Red Hood one step closer to him. What happens when a former clown prince of crime comes face to face with the current crime boss of Gotham? Everyone is dying to find out. Yeah, and that's the new DC books this week. Marvel put a crap ton of books out, so we're not going to do.
Yeah, they did. They went hardcore.
So much.
Yeah.
I would say if anybody's into Masters of the Universe like I am, in February, Dark Horse is dropping a new series, mini series for Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, or something like that.
Oh wow. Well, with Marvel this week, we have Avengers 64, Captain Marvel #45, X-Force 36, Star Wars #30. Looks like
what volume is that?
Let me see. It does not say.
Briefly, you have to really admire that the Star Wars Marvel series currently, they've really made his yellow lightsaber like a huge part of his lore, in which most people wouldn't even know that he had one at one point. Most people have ever seen him with the blue and then later on with the green, but they've really made that a crucial part of his Jedi training, which I think is, again, really nice to see that small detail become part of the character's story.
When did he have yellow?
I think it was like in the middle. I think it was like somewhere in his Jedi training. I'm still really unclear. I only read certain issues here and there of the Marvel Star Wars series, so I'm not really sure where the timeline is. I want to say it's between Empire and Return, but I couldn't tell you, Leo.
Yeah, I want to read more of the Marvel Star Wars. I read like the first volume, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty, X-Men Red number 10, Spider-Man number 4 by Slott and Bagley.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch number 1 is getting a reboot. Gold Goblin number 3, Fantastic Four number 3, Secret Invasion number 3.
I thought I saw a Dr. Aphra Star Wars one.
There used to be a Dr. Aphra series. I don't know if it's still going.
I'm sorry. This is of no disrespect to Marvel. I'm seeing all this, and I have little to no interest to read any of these.
Oh, yeah. Same here. Except for Star Wars. I have to admit, I used to follow it up until the end of the second volume that they did. And it was good writing. Charles Soules was doing it for a while.
Yeah, he's a great writer. Yeah. No, you know what? It's funny because I've been rereading a lot. I've been getting into some of the modern Marvel stuff, and even their like otherworldly Elseworlds. I'm this Deceased is going to be great till the end because Tom Taylor is killing it. But I started reading DC versus Vampires.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like
in that Joe Fixit right there. Return to that character. We haven't seen that in quite a long time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Fixit number 1, and also Shang-Chi is getting another number 1.
Joe Fixit. Wow.
Yeah. So Joe Fixit, cover art written by Peter David, cover artist Cully Hamner.
Yeah. Have we even heard how is Peter David doing?
I do not know.
We haven't heard anything.
I know that funding thing got funded pretty quickly.
Listen, Leo, keep going over the Joe Fixit. I'm looking up Peter David stuff.
Yep. So Peter David's tour de force through some of the greatest Hulk hits continues with the return of Joe Fixit. Gone are the ripped up shorts of the Hulk of yore. This enforcer prefers the slick suave of the striped suit, and the Hulk has traded in monster for mobster as he lends his strength to the Las Vegas casino scene. Of course, the Kingpin has his own ideas about who the toughest guy in town is, and it's up to Spider-Man to keep the two of them from destroying the city.
Could be fun.
Yeah, and a lot of rumors have been hitting. We should have covered this in the news, but Secret Wars, they're saying that we are going to get a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man along with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine in Secret Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, rumor, total rumor, but we'll see what happens. And that's new comics. A ton of comics out this week. As you know, Marvel is putting out way too much.
Yes, they were. Rich, to answer your question, yes. They were trying to raise $80,000 for Peter David. They raised $86,913. And it looks like the most recently, Peter David he's still kicking. There was an update. He is standing up on his own. His wife, Kathleen, posted a photo of that. Apparently, big deal. He's been in rehab pretty much most of December, really working hard to get back. And yeah, but otherwise,
well, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, the rehab is to basically re-strengthen his muscles and get his brain back. Back in whatever working order as possible. Yeah, but again, we're hoping, we here at Splash Pages hoping a good speedy recovery, and hopefully, if he's at a convention we're at in the future, it would be great to interview him. And I've met him a few times. He's really friendly, great guy. And happy Tuesday indeed to that guy who just commented.
Yeah, Tom Doc.
Big Tom.
Yeah. Just real quick, you brought this up. Want to make sure we cover it. Avengers Forever number 14 is getting a Howard the Duck and Planet of the Apes variant cover by David Talaski.
Now, are they just doing a Planet of the Apes variant thing throughout Marvel, or is this something?
No. Well, this, Jeremy, which Marvel most recently announced that we will be seeing the first Marvel Planet of the Apes series since 1975. This series it's essentially going to start in spring 2023. So there's a bunch of variants out, which apparently it's just, Marvel character apes. This one out of all of them was my favorite just because
I like that.
I mean, God, Howard does not look like he's here for it. He's been dealing with the Planet of the Apes forever. Now that is funny and also kind of scary.
Yeah, so celebrating 50 years of Howard the Duck.
Well,
this is another variant cover.
Warlock. Oh yeah, on top of Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock Rebirth number 1 variant.
That's a nice one. Who does the art on that?
Ron Lim.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. He spent so much time with the Infinity Gauntlet. He would know best.
Yeah.
That's how you get kids. That's how you're going to get that Howard the Duck remake real quick. Nope, I got nothing.
Okay. So we wanted to start one thing with 2023, as you know, all right, as you're watching, we're trying to tighten up our format a little bit. And one of the things we wanted to start doing along with the new comics is also doing Character of the Week, a deep dive. You okay there, Drew?
Yeah, I was tightening up. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. I got to stretch before we do this show.
We're not all as young as we used to be.
Facebook.
No, I'm sorry. You were saying
duck boobs.
Duck boobs.
Yeah. So a new segment on the show, Leo.
Yeah. I was just gonna say the original Howard the Duck movie. How many furries did that activate when that came out?
5.
Yeah,
500.
Yeah.
I've never thought of that until just now, Leo.
Okay.
Leo.
Yeah, so Etrigan, we're gonna do a deep dive on Etrigan and Velvet.
You guys were. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
you guys were all the same age as about the same age as me when Howard the Duck came out. I enjoyed the movie. I was a young kid. It was perverted and great. I never thought of it as a bad movie until later on in life when I was told by millions of people that it was horrible. How did you guys feel about it?
I loved it.
Every duck has its day.
I loved it as a kid, and I actually rewatched it, I think, about a year ago. And
does it hold up?
It's not a great movie.
Okay.
But it's funny. It's funny.
I could see it definitely not being. I mean, the special effects, especially, being a little bit tough.
Oh, I got this one. It is a great soon-to-be drinking movie in the same category as Super Mario Bros.
There you go.
Okay, it's Howard the Duck. I'm fairly certain there's already a drinking game for it, and honestly, I'm for it. I am so for it because wow.
It's Justin who said duck boobs.
He also
and Carrie says I was 11 and it was disturbing each of the few times that I saw it. He just freaked me out.
Well, I mean,
hold on, Carrie. You said he freaked you out, but you said you saw it a few times.
Yeah. What happened there?
You had to make sure it wasn't
He likes
a
being
nightmare.
freaked out.
Yeah. Justin, the villain is Mr. Rooney. I was gonna say that. Yeah, Mr. Rooney
Yeah.
from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah.
No, he's possessed. Then the villain is just a weird claymation monster with a scorpion tail that shoots laser beams. It was just like, okay, so we have just gone off the track here, off the rails, crashing the train, hoping to God somehow we make it to the finish line.
Sounds like a perfect movie for splash pages.
Yeah, one day.
Hey, we could do another comic versus movie.
There you go. I don't know if I've ever read a Howard the Duck.
You know what, Leo? That's a great idea. We're gonna do that. It's gonna be a crossover between splash pages and smash pages, because that's the only way.
Okay, so Demon Etrigan. So I know, Velvet, you want to do a deep dive on this, and I did a little bit of research myself, and I'm sure Jar Jar and Drew have a bunch of info. So where do you like to kick it off?
Sure. Absolutely. So since this is my first time, this is going to be a little rough, guys, but bear with me, and we'll get through it together.
You got this, man. You got this. You got this. You got this. Do it.
I can do this.
Do it. You can do this.
I think I can. I think I can. All right, guys. So Etrigan the Demon, created by Jack Kirby. It was an answer to Marvel was doing really well with monster comics, and DC was pressuring him. We need monster. We need monster. So his answer was the Demon. Now, he loved the times of Camelot, and he was a big fan of Prince Valiant. So he's like, all right, I'll do something in that time era. Now, also to borrow from Prince Valiant at one time in this strip wore a demon costume. And it looks almost exactly like Etrigan. And I think Leo has pulled that up. Leo?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So this is the actual comic. I believe this was 1939.
Is this a comic strip from a newspaper?
Yeah, the Sunday Sunday paper, Prince Valiant.
So probably impossible to get.
Sunday Funnies.
Yeah.
Please.
And so here's a side by side of the Kirby along with the Prince Valiant mask.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is almost identical, if not identical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say, flattery is,
Oh, yes.
But yeah. So the Demon was essentially Merlin brought him from hell and bound him to Jason Blood, who was a demonologist, apparently. So, and he used him, Merlin used him against Morgana Le Fay. And over the years, the Demon has come back and forth. He first appeared in the Demon #1 in September of 1972. He actually has some other DC familial relations. His father is the demon Belial, and Belial's father is Trigon. So it turns out Raven is actually Etrigan's aunt.
Huh.
So I thought,
well, that's creepy.
I like finding out the little family tree stuff.
So just to back up, now I could be totally wrong, but in my research, so sounds like you're describing the 72 run is from what I understand with the Kirby run. He made the first issue just to shut up Marvel, and it sold so well that they ordered another 15 issues. What's that?
DC.
Oh, DC. Sorry, DC. Marvel. So apparently Jason Blood and Etrigan are the same. Is when Merlin set Etrigan free, he roamed the earth and eventually stood upright and became Jason Blood.
Mm. And then later on, changes were made where Merlin was actually Etrigan's half brother. So they made those changes, and then the whole thing where Jason Blood is a knight in King Arthur's court, essentially just binding in. And it's really amusing considering that Kirby created the character just essentially to appease DC, still upset that they canceled New Gods and the Forever People, and even more annoyed because the first issue sold so well that he had to basically do 16 more issues, and literally leave the Fourth World titles that he was really more passionate about. So Etrigan is literally a character created out of spite and continued out of annoyance. So
Absolutely.
no wonder he's such a shit.
Yeah, he's tortured. The artist is tortured. The character is tortured. Jason Blood is tortured. Everyone is tortured through this series, and I love every second of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I
have to read
read
more of
that
it
early,
myself.
The Demon Kirby stuff. I did have it at one point. We won't go into how I had to give all that away.
Nope.
But anyway, so Etrigan is a demon. He is primarily yellow. He is very strong. He is even among demons, Etrigan is considered one of the most powerful. He is mystically enhanced. He has superhuman strength. He's stood against Superman, Wonder Woman, and Lobo. He has a high degree of resistance to injury. He projects hellfire from his body, usually from his mouth. He has a very high command of magic. He has mystically enhanced fangs and claws, enhanced senses, super speed, agility, telepathy, energy blast, and precognition. He is a sadomasochistic in nature, which allows him to enjoy pain as if it were pleasure, making him generally fearless in the face of combat. And he's generally a badass. And I think post crisis, they had Jason Blood in Gotham City, so there was a lot of crossover with Etrigan and Batman, which led to a lot of great stories. Etrigan has been a regular in Justice League Dark, and he's a great character. I don't know what stories you guys may have read of him. Like I said, the Kirby run is a great run. It gives all his origin stuff. The newer stuff has enhanced his story, but essentially it is still Jason Blood bound to Etrigan the Demon, originally brought out by Merlin, is still the core central thing of the story, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's what I know, guys. So I don't know what you guys have to add, or if there are any stories. I know Drew mentioned something about a Garth Ennis run that he liked.
Yeah, a few things. One, Etrigan is primarily described as a rhymer, which is a demon in hell who seeks essentially in rhyme. It's about the hell's hierarchy, and he's pretty well ranked there. Etrigan is typically shown rhyming. There have been instances where he has not been shown as a rhymer, but essentially it's still pretty much rocking the same thing. Notable appearances, we've seen Etrigan in Batman Animated Series Season 4, where the demon was voiced by veteran actor Billy Zane. Gotta love that. Another one would be his fantastic appearance in Batman Brave and the Bold, where he indeed rhymed, and it was wonderful. And we also saw Etrigan not rhyming in both Justice League Unlimited, helping the Justice League face Morgan Le Fay, a common foe of both Jason Blood and Etrigan. And I do believe we saw him in Justice League Apocalypse War, where yet again, not rhyming, still does not care for humanity and flame breath.
So Carrie says, as somebody who just learned about this character, I'm curious, does the binding of the demon carry over to the elongated life of the host?
I can answer that. There have been some instances where, especially we saw this commonly in Batman the Animated Series, where Etrigan and Jason Blood are tied together. So essentially, being separated, Jason starts to age as he is thousands of years old. The comics have been a little loose about that. There have been instances where Etrigan has been separated from Jason, but of course, they are a comedy, hellish duo, just a horrible married couple. They can't live with them, can't live without them.
So in my research, so like I mentioned earlier, in the Kirby run, Jason Blood and Etrigan are the same. It's just that, Etrigan was roaming the earth for so long, he stood upright and appeared more mortal. In the later reboots, like 1990, The Demon, and also from that issue 40, Garth Ennis's run. Jason Blood was when he was bound to Etrigan was then immortal from that point on. Now, for somebody just getting into Etrigan or wants to learn more, what do you guys recommend as a great starting point?
You start with a Kirby run, always.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You start with Kirby.
Kirby is a god among men. And then you have
he definitely started the archetype for the character, and he laid the tracks. And so once you get in with that, you can go with any of the other storylines that were 90% fantastic. And any of the Justice League Dark stuff, or he was even in the Justice League Dark animated movies. So plenty of Etrigan out there for you to find.
Indeed. And because you have the Kirby run, and then you have the 4-issue miniseries that came back in the 80s that Matt Wagner did. Then you had Alan Grant doing basically doing the 1990 series, which was like 58 issues, which had Garth Ennis, one of my favorite writers, taking over issue 40. He basically did that, I think, till the end. And then you had John Byrne's Blood of the Demon, which essentially ignored everything that came after the Kirby run. So it kind of did a Halloween reboot, kind of, where we're just going to ignore the sequels and just follow right after the original. But the one thing I will say, and I think you guys would agree with me, that Etrigan is one of DC's most popular supporting characters. You always, if he's not a main character, he'll show up on the side. He'll Sandman.
I think he's also in the Dark Side War animated movie as well.
Yeah, that's the Apocalypse War.
Apocalypse War, thank you.
Yeah. Neil Gaiman's Sandman, Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. He shows up, I think, in Kevin Smith's Green Arrow. He's in Garth Ennis's Hitman. And funny enough, he plays a role in the kind of most forgotten comic book crossover, the Cosmic Odyssey, that Thanos creator Jim Starlin did with no other than Mike Mignola. So lot of stuff Etrigan wise to choose from, but he's very, for for a demon, he's very popular.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously start with the Demon from 1972 by Kirby, and I believe that was 16-issue run.
Yes, 16 issues. Mm-hmm.
And you can probably find a graphic novel or pick it up digitally. I'm sure the original floppies are running quite a bit.
Yeah, so if you like your magic, powerful demons that have deep DC familial ties, check it out. It's fun. It's great. And he I've seen him, going toe to toe to Wonder Woman, Superman, Lobo. I mean, this guy's no slouch.
No, he isn't, and he's always got the best way to transform, either to or back.
Yeah. Drew, you want to hit us with one of the rhymes?
What is it? Gone, gone, O form of man, and rise the demon Etrigan.
Etrigan.
Yeah, and then and it's funny because I feel like more people remember that one, and then there was what was it? Be gone, O Etrigan. Resume once more the form of man. But my favorite one, I think, was in Justice League Dark, which was since the battles fought and won, Jason Blood with me is done. I was like, wow, that's simple but good. Again, rhymes. Who would think comic books would have poetry? But
Carrie says, I've seen him in the Sandman, then I didn't realize. Thanks for the huge amount of things for me to find more of him in. Thanks, Carrie.
And that's how you create a fan, everybody.
There we go.
Bam.
Yeah, I kind of like this. We'll try to do more of these. Well, we'll pick characters.
I need to say this, though. While I love Etrigan especially in the context of one of my favorite characters, Tommy Monaghan, aka Hitman. Our bringing it back, as Rich would say, to a previous episode. I'm still remembering that short Christmas page with Etrigan and the summoning circle from the DC annual. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right, the little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Was that in Wednesday Comics, Drew?
No, that wasn't in Wednesday. That was in the DC annual. I think that was the first one. Remember? Where the dad's making the deal and she thinks he's Santa. He pulls up Batman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and the father ends up selling his soul for a toy.
Batman.
Yeah, little Batman toy.
Yeah. But
yeah, that was the DC. I believe that was the DCU Holiday Bash. And a matter of fact, I just put up that clip on our YouTube. It was
a one-page story, wasn't it?
And we did. You guys can go look on the Splash Pages YouTube, because we did the Hell's Hitman episode, which should be up there.
Yeah,
that's Etrigan and Hitman.
If it's not up there, check the Dorkening page. Because we started doing the Splash Page over the summer, and I think it was before.
So now,
yes,
the Max.
Oh,
okay.
Max.
So the book this week, we're doing book versus series, The M.A.X.X. by Sam Keith.
This is honestly, you know what, Jeremy? This is your book. Do you want to introduce the M.A.X.X.?
Well, it's a dark series created by Sam Keith in 1993, I want to say.
3.
I actually was introduced to it from MTV Oddities before I read the book, and it really didn't matter because, well, until the series ended on MTV, it was almost exactly like the comic. There's like slight changes, like characters are different colors or something like that, but other than that, it's identical up until issue, I want to say 9.
11.
Is it 11?
11.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me, Drew.
You're welcome. You were doing great. I just wanted to I didn't want you to get lost with your facts.
You're the best.
Go team.
Go team. Follow the script. I mean, what? No, it's not scripted.
It's incredibly dark. Like, from the villain to the good guys, everything is just. If you've not read or watched this show, you might want to. It's dark stuff.
It is, and it's so. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna quote Leo here. Like, it's a weird fucking book.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, what the fuck? What?
No.
Yeah.
Save it for next wave, Mr. Normality. Like, oh, excuse me, it's a weird. You go back to your comics code. Okay,
it's interesting. This is the first read of the Max for me. I remember seeing some of those MTV oddity things, and I remember always liking the art. And I was like seeing that first character that Leo had up a second ago of the cover art. I was like, okay, this guy's like a Hulk-sized Wolverine. And I had like I don't know why I thought that personality was going to be similar, but yeah, he is not. He is quite nuts. Like, he's living an existence in reality, and then he's also living an existence in his head.
Yeah,
possibly another plane
or somebody else's head
altogether, which really isn't. I guess you have to read further into the series to know what the truth is.
Yeah, and it's so funny because when you think about it, I was like, he looks like the Hulk. He's got Wolverine claws. He lives like Spawn, and he has like the wiped mind of Wolverine.
I think that's why I got sucked in by him so much, by the likeness of Spawn to him.
You know, the whole living homeless.
Yeah.
You know, not really taking off his mask, kind of thing. I And I will say, like, I do love the originals, but I've been reading because there was, I think in 2013, 3 of the Max, Keith released all the same issues in volumes, which were retouched up, new stuff added and whatnot. It's cleaner. It's still just as dark. It's beautiful work. I mean, honestly, I know of Sam Keith's work. I know he did Sandman. I know he did Wolverine. I know he did some other Marvel stuff. And the guy he worked with, the other writer, was one of the co-creators of Wolverine. So yeah, it was just a great weird book, but yeah. And you know what it is? It's really hard to describe because I feel like comics, there are 3 kinds of weird. There are weird, as in you're trying to imitate someone's weirdness. You know what I mean? Like you see the people and they're trying to be like Grant Morrison, like Alan Moore, like, fill in the blank creator, instead of being themselves. And you have weird where it's definitely different, but it keeps you engaged. And then every once in a while, you just get the weird where you're like, what the fuck? And you can't tell if it's good weird or it's like, I might need to go back to therapy. Like, what the fuck? Or maybe I got to increase it to twice a week now. Like, jeez.
This scene
this is also not for the faint of heart. There's some serious adult content in this.
Very much.
Oh yeah,
this scene in the cartoon is so good.
Before you get into that, just to touch on the adult themes, even if you're watching a show, I mean, it touches on bullying, suicide, kids with guns,
murder,
rape. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, John.
I was just saying the scene with the cops and the animation, how they changed from regular cartoon to like this was almost like live action with animation going on. It was really interesting.
Oh,
the back of the cab.
Yeah. The silhouettes. Yeah, it was like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of. Yeah.
The way that Sam Keith did, like the super realism with the comics, I mean, honestly, it was just so unique. And I honestly stick to what I said. I was talking to somebody about this. Like, this is the most faithful comic to screen adaptation that most people have never heard of.
Yeah, and also interesting, Leo, go back one frame for one more second. I'm sorry, I'm also going to mention.
And it's almost frame for frame.
In that taxi scene, one more frame back, Leo, with the taxi scene. There we go. In the movie, this part right here is filmed really interesting, where these guys are not cartoons; they're just blacked out shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still see his back there as a cartoon. So it's like they were mixing the media on this so many years ago. Jeremy, what year did you say this was? I'm sorry.
93.
93.
Yeah, the comic came out in 93. The MTV series was in 95, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So the series came out first. Because, I definitely knew about the MTV before I knew about the series.
I thought they were a lot closer in release.
The Max. I have to be honest with you. Seriously, I don't think I can read the comic now and not hear the guy who voices the Max. his voice, I believe, is Michael Haley.
And Michael Haley is only listed as voicing
the Max.
The Max, and It Listens from the Radio. Actually came out last year.
Oh
wow! The Crunch Punch.
Yeah,
he should get him on the show.
Yeah.
Him and then Barry Stigler was Mr. Gone. I mean,
Mr. Gone, talk about a character.
Yeah, it was just like, I was like, this is just like an SVU version of Doctor Strange.
Right.
Like, just that's how I looked. I was like, you're a murderer, you're a rapist, you somehow can do magic.
Fucking creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
But also
and
comedical.
it never really explains what are those isps. Nobody really
Oh,
explains what they are.
the isses?
Isses.
Yeah,
Those little,
the isses.
In what? In the
Pangea
some reality
or
they are
the
white,
output.
but when they come to our reality, they're black and they eat people.
Yeah, they're in our realm, they're meat eaters.
Yeah, and they the normies see him as whatever they're dressed.
Yeah,
like.
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Right.
the grandma.
He's like, I had to cover them with boxes so they don't look at two grannies stuck to their teeth onto a dumpster.
Right.
That's hilarious.
And this is a perfect example of the pages that Leo has up now about, like, the right side is reality and the left side is Max's fantasy world or alternate
where
reality.
she's the
so
queen.
This is her in real life, and this is, like, to him, the goddess.
And it's actually, as we come to find out later on, it's all her dream. Like,
hey, spoilers.
God
damn
it,
sorry.
Jeremy.
Are we not allowed to do that?
We want people to read this.
Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it.
Go back to your box, Jeremy.
To be honest, like, even if you watch the show, it's unanswered. You know, it's like, I didn't read the whole series, but I know on the show it's unanswered whether it's her dream or not. I thought, like, the last scene.
I could really mess you up with what goes on with her.
Jeremy, don't.
Like, the whole connection between her and the Max.
Don't.
Oh my god.
Well, I kind of okay. So, like, her, and is, like, she related to Sarah, and, like,
why
not
you gonna
exactly.
ruin it for people?
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys can talk about this later.
Just read the book, man.
Read the book. It's great.
You know,
it goes into some messed up stuff.
Although I will say, I know, like, again, I'm going to finish reading the whole series, which at my rate I'll get it done by the end of the week. I'm also curious to read the crossover they did in 2018 with Batman.
Yeah, I've never read that, actually. Justin Cooper was talking about that in the chat.
Yeah.
Have you read that before?
No, I've never read that, and I'm kind of curious because it's just funny because I'm just imagining, like, Michael Haley's the Max, just, who are you? And then you have, what do you want? Batman, and you got the, what is this nut doing? And it's just like, why are you purple? Just this nonsensical judgment. Two grown-ass men wearing costumes, beating the crap out of criminals, suddenly in the same room as each other. I'd just be like, well, this happened.
So apparently there was 2 series with Batman and the Max. So you have Batman and the Max, the Lost Year Compendium, issues 1 through 3, which came out in 2020.
Okay.
And then Batman and the Max Arkham Dreams, issues 1 through 5, which came out in 2021.
Nice.
Let's see. Besides the other appearance of the Max and Comico Primer, let's see. Darker Image. Anthology.
There's one more thing I wanted to add, Leo, as a little tidbit for people who might want to read. I don't know if you guys know this, but out of the 35 issues, one of these issues for the Max was written by Alan Moore.
Oh, did not know.
Issue 21.
Okay.
So, because Sam Keith was one of the co-writers, and then Bill Mesner Loebs, he's the other guy in that. Or Bill Loebs or Bill Mesner, yeah. He was, the other collaborator, and I was just like, wow. But, like, it's always so random, that he always pops up, Alan Moore, like around the 90s. Like, I remember when he wrote a couple issues of Spawn or some of the Image stuff. You're like, Alan Moore here?
Drew, do you think, like, his assistant just calls random people and be like, yeah, Alan Moore wants to write a few issues of what you're doing? They're like, okay.
I feel like back in the 90s, that would have been like, yes. And then, again, from what I remember, Rich, when we spoke to Bart Sears, confirming what I've read about Alan Moore scripts being, I believe Klaus Janson once said it was like a phone book.
Yeah, he said it was quite thick.
Because Alan not only would include such detail, and he would basically paint you the whole picture. He would even do little thumbnails to help you, so you just realized his vision. And I'm just like, okay, wow, like okay, like the man has a vision, and if you don't want to meet it, out, get a fuck out.
So,
Yes.
So
And
Carrie
Drew, since you
says,
mentioned him, we are gonna hopefully be, as far as I know, by the end of the month, we'll be seeing Bart Sears here on the show for a full-length interview. So check it out.
So Carrie says it really hits you mentally more in the way that a great movie can. Only in each episode, you need to break down between the process. I totally agree. And if you're wondering, a severely damaged The M.A.X.X action figure won a battle royale hosted by a 5-year-old in my living room. His final opponent was a hand puppet, Cthulhu, and Cthulhu was thrown completely to the other side as the M.A.X.X roared in his glory. That's how badass.
Okay, wait, Harry, to be fair, he did say in the show, they've got squid.
Yeah.
You know, when they're going to the aquarium. So clearly he was ready for a rematch.
So they don't really cover it in the comic, and you were right, Jar Jar. Like the TV show and the comic, like essentially word for word. But the TV show really did some awesome mixed medium. Changing the drawing styles, even doing like a Looney Tunes segment, which was hilarious.
That was great.
That is in the comic though, Leo.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah,
and the Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, that's Max's favorite show.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because Julie's yelling. I was like, you're gonna have dreams, this cartoon in your head, and he just wakes up and it's rhyming. I'm like, oh my God. Like the M.A.X.X meets Dr. Seuss.
That was funny because I was watching that episode today and I was just thinking, oh my God, we're watching Etrigan. We're talking about Etrigan later on tonight. There's the M.A.X.X as Etrigan. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot of rhyming. And I have to ask you guys, just, because we're talking about it, who was, besides the M.A.X.X, who was your favorite side character? Because I thought the part of Sarah was written very well. Like I was like, wow, this is a teenage girl.
I have to say they really did do well doing Sarah in like divorce, or not divorce, kind of loss of a parent mode and everything. That was like that scene right there is some fucked up shit in the cartoon.
And on top of it, like I thought that, what was it? One, making fun of Sandman, I thought that was great. Two, I just felt like they got that mindset of a teenager, like that scene with her friend where I guess he humiliated her at a dance.
Yeah. F it, I don't care.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even that. She was like, if somebody had asked me, I would have done the same thing too.
Yeah. And the honesty of it.
Yeah. And
the peer pressure too, like,
okay,
whatever's going on.
Guys, help me out here. When we keep seeing the carjackers, is that a Dark Knight Returns reference? Because they do
look like the mutants, don't they?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that. I was like, yeah, I was like, the fuck are the mutants from Dark Knight Returns doing here? Well, and then they
turned some kind of like ode to Frank Miller.
Well, my thought was, it was the 90s, so it was like, it's. You also had Geordie LaForge that had that, that mask. So it could have been just the 90s in general, just people being, people.
Yes.
And Drew, to answer your question, for me, the side character for me was Julie, especially when she's sort of in that torture situation where she's breaking Mr. Gone down psychologically. She's like, oh, you just have a problem with women. And he's like, of course I have a problem with women, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, But boom, but boom, but boom. It's like, oh, she's tied up and she's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
And I mean,
look, it's the space whale.
Yeah, or is a Goodyear blimp?
yeah, I was like, the fuck is there a blimp in the city? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that always. I want to just point that out to you guys. That always really got me in the old Batman. I was like, what city has giant blimps just parading around, looking at shit? I was like, no, this is a plot device, fair and square. Like, don't act like it's anything else, okay?
Did Batman the animated series begin that, or was that start before that?
It's really hard to say, because the first time I remember seeing it was Batman animated series, but it could have been
like did a really cool thing with it in like the alternate universe, as if like we used blimps to travel around because the Hindenburg thing never happened and all that.
I don't know.
No.
Nah. But but
that might be something good for me to research, because I did one Batman project recently where I found out all the times he fought a shark. So,
what?
Oh wow!
Yeah, I did on a Dork Night episode. We
okay.
Yeah, every time Batman fought a shark. I'll dig into that.
We're doing good, guys. Still 20 minutes to go.
Awesome. The one thing I do want to say is I felt this book really handled trauma very well.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think. I think it was very still new for superheroes, because
especially at that time.
Yeah, because we've seen trauma, Batman's parents dying, Superman losing his planet, Peter Parker, Uncle Ben, whatever Wolverine's dealt with.
This was
this was different. This was, it wasn't just Max and his trauma, which we do get into later, and I agree with Jeremy, it is fucked up. But
everybody's
Julie's, like her trauma is so strong that we've seen this, and it was just like, wow.
And her reaction to it is so real.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Sarah's reaction. She lost her dad. What does she do? She shuts down.
Yeah.
I just have to say, the fucking rabbit. Oh my God, that killed me right at the end. I mean, like, what the hell?
Leo, you get startled so easily.
Well, I mean, I have a thing for animals, is like,
but not snakes.
Yeah, not snakes. No, snakes. Yeah, no, they're.
How about that one scene where he stabs? We don't know it at first, but he just stabs the mannequin through the CPR mannequin through the head.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
You killed my hostage.
By the way, that character was hilarious too. The guy, the kid sitting there at the gas station.
Yeah, I was just like, it's like, you killed my hostage. And he just keeps repeating it like, I was gonna do that. Like, and then and he shoots him and just, now don't do that again, bastard.
That was smart thinking, mister. That hit my CPR dummy. You knew that was a dummy, right?
Right? A dummy. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just, and speaking of Leo, I loved in the Sarah episode the little change that they made. They had Max just sitting there watching Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was just like the little details, and that's again my feeling about adaptation. You can make changes just as long as they fit the narrative, and contribute to the story. Versus you just make changes so much. I was like, is this even the same story? Is this one of those loosely based on
the works of?
Yeah,
I wonder, has Image Comics reused the Max in recent times at all?
They definitely did the as Drew was saying, the Max Maximized, where they redid all the issues, but nothing. I don't believe anything new.
They didn't guest star. They didn't guest star him in something Youngblood or something.
Let's see, cameos. The Maxes made cameo appearances in the graphic novel Pop Bot, which Keith co-wrote. It's an independent comic. Armature, the Sonic the Hedgehog comic.
That was a Sonic Image crossover, Leo.
Correct. Blood Wolf #2, The Savage Dragon #28, Troll Halloween Special #1, and he also appears in the series Mars Attacks.
And and it's also important to note that at one point they were talking about doing a movie based on the Max. This is back in 2019.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Channing Tatum and Roy Lee were talking about doing that. So I was like, okay.
And
I'm not going to pass judgment on anything until I see it these days, but like Channing Tatum is not exactly who I would have guessed to be talking about doing a Max series.
Well, listen, remember, produce, so not story.
Oh, just as producing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
did we mention his first appearance as Darker Image #1?
We did.
If we didn't, now we did.
There we go. And I will say I did like that they adapted the story from the 0.5 issue was the second part of, I think, one of the Sarah episodes, which was the two little kids talking about the Max's origin.
Yeah.
And then
that was so cute.
And then he scares away the crackhead.
Yeah. Crackhead Jerry.
Right. So are we ready to crowbar this bad boy?
Yep.
Or what are we gonna do? We gotta claw it.
Do you want to rate it? Do you want to rate it? How many something jumble theme?
A bunch of ises.
How many ises or how many glued claws?
Let's go.
There you go. This always happens when I glue my claws.
This always happens when I glue my claws to something. Oh wow!
So Leo, you want to set it?
Yeah, we'll do.
I'm glad everybody had fun watching and reading this.
Oh yeah, no, it was great, man.
Yeah, so
it's funny with such a dark tones and stuff. It has also a very good comical light side to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Leo, what do you think?
Yeah, so just to recap, the original run I believe was 35 issues.
Yes.
The TV series was 13 episodes, which what did that cover, Jar Jar?
1 through 11.
1 through 11. Okay.
Yep.
And from what I've read,
it changes the ending for issue 12 and 13 changes like the ending up because it was the series was being ended and they didn't know if they were going to get a second season, so they went ahead and just slammed something together.
Yeah.
So kicking it off, I'm just going to say that this really shocked me how much I enjoyed it. When Wolverine was out and Sam Keith was doing Wolverine, I didn't care for his art whatsoever. Yes, Drew.
Why do you always say that? Like you hate comics? Like, wow, this really shocked me. Like I wasn't expecting. Like, do you hate comics, sir?
No. I went into this thinking like I didn't really care for Sam Keith's art to begin with.
Okay.
And I went into this and it could have been just the Wolverine medium, because I was used to other artists handling Wolverine and I just didn't care for his like big, bulky, hairy Wolverine.
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. The series was pretty fucked up. But it's it was definitely worth the read and the watch. And I'm gonna give this 4.3 ises.
Okay.
That's a good amount of is.
Yeah.
And for me, I actually enjoyed the art more than I enjoyed the story. I felt, because I read the comic first and I read the first 6 issues. We were only supposed to read 4, but I went a little ahead. And I felt like I kept having to go back to understanding what I was reading. And since like the whole thing is a mystery, and since I never got to the end, I felt like for me it was a little lackluster. Like I don't know that I would have hung on even in the 90s to get to the end at like 30 some odd issues. But it was weird. It was different. I love the art so for that reason, I'm only going to give it a 3.5. Is
Okay.
And for you, Drew?
Think,
for you, Joe?
Oh, you can go first, Drew.
Well, before Drew goes in, Velvet, would that be 3.5 smushed ises?
Absolutely. meat eating. Mine are meat eating ises.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this sweet little read a good 4 ises because it brought me back to the 90s. I'm very nostalgic of the 90s. I saw the show before I read the comic, and I think that's probably why I was able. I can understand Velvet having a little bit of problem reading through because the way it is written versus when it's played out in the series, I think it's a lot more cohesive in the series. Like,
I agree. I thought the animated spelled it out much better. That is a great point, Joe.
But I think that's why I did hold on throughout the entire series of the comic, though, because I was able to watch that and it gave me automatically like, oh, I got to see where this is going, what happens next. And the end of it is crazy. Just when you find out the connection of everybody and why this is all happening, you're just like, oh my God, talk about dark. And that's all I got to say about that.
And how many ises is that?
Oh, I gave it 4. 4 ises.
4 ises.
4 ises of nostalgia.
I'm honestly gonna go with Leo. I very much enjoyed this. I'm gonna finish reading the whole thing finally. So that's my goal for this week. I thought the series is great. I thought it's on the same level of well adaptation that I felt the Spawn HBO series is. At least the first season just nails the feel, the vibe, everything. 4.3 for me, and that's both the comic and the show. So I definitely will recommend this to any of our 90s nostalgic nerds as a nice little I wouldn't say this is a Saturday morning cartoon. Maybe a Friday night 3 a.m. watch.
Yeah.
But
not for the children. Definitely not for the children.
No.
But definitely
unless
great.
you enjoy explaining that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but definitely great. Very, very well done. Very weird, but with a really good heart behind it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's me. So, yeah.
We did it, guys.
We did. Holy crap. Well, for those of you watching,
finish the
let
show.
us know what you think of the new format, and we're trying to stick to an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine episode. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. We have a ton of awesome stuff. A lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Along with Splash Pages, I also do the Dork Night and Comics Paradox with Justin the Cooper and Brandon Powers combined. And 2 awesome dudes. And also there was something else I wanted to add, but I can't remember. Oh, check out our YouTube page. I've been putting up a lot of stuff I'm trying to do for January, and maybe this will go further, but trying to do an episode a day. So we have tons of content that needs to go up on in the channel. So something new every day. And with that, we'll kick it over to Jaja.
Hey guys. Well, I got a huge announcement. Starting this Friday, I'm going to be starting the filming of my new show, The Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter. So I hope once we do start dropping episodes, I hope everybody checks it out. I'm going to be hanging with Nancy Ann Ritter and Kevin Crooksey doing that. Hopefully, we'll be dropping 2 episodes a month. We're not exactly sure what the dates when they'll first start dropping, but once we have that all, I will announce more. And otherwise, you can find me over on Facebook at Comic Book Lovers Buy Sell Trade, and yeah, all that fancy stuff.
Awesome. Okay, Mr. Ghostbuster Man 1984, Drew Malo.
Thank you, everyone. Now that you've heard my Instagram, yes. So I'm here every Tuesday because I have nothing better to do. But no, I'm kidding. I love being here. And if you really want to reach out, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm not repeating it because and I'm also pretty busy now. Still at Screen Rant. You can find me. I'm one of the comics writers. I'm also one of the comics HR persons. Shh. And there's a lot going on this year. So by God, stay tuned. And if you don't, well, you're fucking lost.
Velvet.
Hey, it's me, your man, Rich Davis, a.k.a. Velvet Joker, and you can find me on everything from Instagram to TikTok to Facebook. And I love being here on Tuesday night on the award-winning Splash Pages podcast. I think I'm looking a little tired tonight. I haven't gotten much sleep the last 2 nights, so I apologize for that, guys. And, it was another great show. Check out our Splash Pages, YouTube, for past episodes, and we hope you enjoyed the new format. Talk to you guys soon.
Awesome. Catch you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.